Hi
Hi.
guys, what's going on?
How's everyone doing?
I hope everyone's doing awful. I hope you all had a terrible day. Just kidding.
No.
I hope
We
you
hope
guys
you
had
had
a relaxing day.
a relaxing week.
Mm-hmm.
How
I
was
wish,
your week?
oh, well, I wish I had a relaxing week. I've been working too much. I feel like I've been beaten by
Mm,
like a caveman with a stick. You know what I'm talking about? Just like a
I
big
totally understand that.
one of those things that
Mm-hmm.
feel like that. Yeah, not feeling good, feeling very low, feeling awful. Terrible week. Anyways, what about you? How was your week?
My week was all right. I mean, just a little tiring. I've kind of been in a slump lately.
Mm,
So, just trying to manage life through that. And I still don't know if I'm going to California for my job. But then
oh, have they
again,
not said yet?
yeah, then again, like I don't think they're fully done with like all the arrangements yet
Right.
because like they haven't even sent out like sign up forms or anything for it.
Mm,
So, hopefully I find out soon. But like I was talking to my mom and she was like, "Well, like you said, he mentioned the store and like looked right at you." And I was like, "I know." So since he like that's like my whole job's supposedly, you know.
yeah. Hmm.
Who knows?
Well, really, who knows? It could happen.
Yeah. So I'm just trying
Anything's
not to think
possible.
about it, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Try not to psych myself up or get too excited before I know anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it would be cool if I got to go though. Because I've never been to California and I would be going to like a really nice and like expensive area.
That would be
So
really cool.
that would.
It might happen, but don't get your
Yeah.
hopes. I'm just kidding. But
No.
no, it's good not to have your hopes up, but
Yeah.
also it's good to also be like, that could be a cool thing to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, I'm just focusing on what I have to do at work
Mm.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah. Ooh.
Me too, man.
Eepy. And why he eepy? I
I
love
say
that
that all the
meme.
time. I'm always like, I'm so icky right now.
I say that. I say like EB.
No,
I love saying it. It's so funny.
that is
But
pretty funny.
speaking of feelings, let's talk about our topic, which is mental health.
Mental health. It's perfect because mine is at an all-time low. Well, not an all-time low, but my mental health has been pretty bad lately.
Yeah.
I've been going through it. And
It's
it
probably not
leaves me, yeah, it leaves
it's
me
probably
thinking like, have I ever had a period when it hasn't been like bad for more than a week? That's the question. More than
yeah.
3 days. Hmm.
Yeah. I just think it's that time of year, which doesn't help.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. I always get like kind of low around this time of year. But I mean, the sun has started staying out longer, which is exciting. That means more daylight.
Yeah.
We're
Spend-
both like so
Yeah,
tired.
I know.
But I'm trying to think.
Yeah, me too. My brain is
Mental
like out
health.
of it, so I'm like,
Yeah, me too. Mental health.
when the
I
health is
mean,
mental, love. Mental health, more like my health is mental.
I
Oh,
mean,
oh.
here's the thing. I feel like it's just such an ongoing battle, even if you are like getting therapy and stuff like that. It's just such like a day-to-day thing. And like you really do just have to, take it in stride and
Mm-hmm.
like not really, yeah.
Yeah. Babe.
No. You just like you can't be hard on yourself, because I feel like at least before I got help versus now, like I had this idea like, oh, if I get help, I'll be cured. You kind of think that,
Um,
where it's like, oh, if I get therapy or if I get medication, you know, I won't have to worry about it anymore. But that's not entirely true.
right.
Like I still have periods where it's like my issues still get to me or they still affect me, but it affects me in a different way because instead of them getting out of hand because they were so like unmanageable, now it's manageable. So it's like it's not um getting, what's the word? Like it's not blowing up.
Yeah.
So I think like, you know, when it comes to mental health, I mean everyone's always got something going on. Like you never really know what's happening in someone's life. So
Yeah.
you really should be like treating everyone you meet with kindness, if anything else, because you never know. That person may be nasty to you because they got some really bad news. So don't
Yeah.
take it personally.
Do you think this is a big question. Do you think there's people out there who actually don't suffer from mental illnesses at all in the
I don't
present
think
day?
so.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
do
Because,
not
like,
think
I
so.
swear there's no way anybody in this whole world, especially now, are like a mentally
Yeah.
healthy. Just because it's just like, it's not, the world is not set up to where you can even be mentally healthy. Like, I
Yeah,
feel like
like
even
that's the thing.
therapists are
That's
going
what I was
through it,
thinking. Yeah, oh my God, yeah. I think everyone, honestly, I don't think it's a question of who is and who isn't. I think it's a question of how much. Like there are
Some
some
people have
people,
more severe mental illness than other
yes,
people, but
exactly,
I
or
think
at a severe
everyone
level,
has some sort
some
of
form.
something. Yeah, I
Yeah,
really feel
mental
that
health issue
us when
going
we
on.
become psychologists, everyone's mentally ill. No, but they like
No, it
they
is
don't,
true
everyone
though.
can
I think,
experience depression though. That's the thing.
yeah,
Everyone
and
can
and I
experience
feel like,
anxiety.
and the thing is because those things like can come about from literally anything.
Exactly.
Like PTSD, depression, anxiety, they can develop because of literally
It
anything.
could be something so subtle that could cause that kind of
It
stuff to happen.
can
It
be.
could
And like
be
it
like a
could be
book.
something in your
No,
childhood.
literally,
Like
as
it
a baby, if
literally
you
can.
heard like a book drop too loud, that could make you
Mhm.
anxious later on in life. Like,
Yeah.
it's as
It
simple as
really is
that.
just such like it's like it's so crazy where these things come from. And
Mhm.
I've been in like a place where it's like because I've been getting therapy, it's really made me like actually think about where these things have come from and like
Yeah,
why. And so I've had a lot of moments where I'm like, oh my God, like the reason why this situation freaks me out is because of this specific experience that I had that always stuck with me and I never realized
yeah,
it. So it's like you literally don't realize, and I think you don't realize a lot of the times, I think people don't realize these things until adulthood. And then it's like, whoa, because then like the whole your entire life thus far just kind of clicks into place and you're like, holy shit. And I
mhm.
think that's like an important thing to realize because then it does actually help you learn how to manage it.
Yep.
And like, but honestly, I think everyone suffers from it. And I think everyone has like some sort of issue that they're working through, whether it's diagnosed or not, whether it's at the level that it can even be diagnosed. Because there's some
Yeah,
issues where it's like you have some symptoms, but it's like it's not so many that it's like diagnosable.
yeah,
I know that's a thing with like bipolar. So it's like you never know. But I think with the way, like you said, the way the world is set up, I don't think it's set up in a way that is nurturing people. I think it's set up in a way that is literally tearing people apart, especially recently.
yep,
And for the people that, because there are some mental health issues that are genetic. And that's another factor. It doesn't just have to be like an actual experience in your life for you to have
mhm.
depression or anxiety. It
'Cause
can
doesn't
just
like
be a genetic thing.
trauma stay in your DNA? Yeah.
Yes.
So,
There is some like generational
yeah,
trauma that happens
yeah,
where
for
it's like
sure.
it develops like um sort of instinct, you know?
Yeah, because that is where instinct comes from.
Yeah. Basically, yeah, instinct is a generational trauma. Like
Yeah,
the fight or flight instinct is a trauma response from the millions of years that humans had to develop some sort of feeling that will warn
yeah,
them of some sort of attack from like some animal or whatever.
yeah. No, but that's kind
And
of crazy to think that like
it is
all
bizarre.
instinct comes from trauma. If you
Yeah.
really think about it, even if
If
it's
you
not
really
even
boil
from
it down,
generations, like even just in your day-to-day life, like if something has happened to you, you'll have instincts about other things to
oh
where you're
yeah.
like, ooh, this could help
Like
me not
it's kind of
experience
like
that.
I feel like in a way red flags are an instinct, you
Oh,
know?
for sure. 100%.
Exactly. So it's like when you talk to someone and they say like a phrase or they act a certain way, that kind of like that red flag in a way is an instinct of like, oh, I don't know about that, you know? And it kind of stops you in your place. You're like, okay, okay, let me think about that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But it is really fascinating to think about instincts and like boiled down are just generational trauma responses. But then when it comes to like generational trauma, then you have like um I feel like it's something seen with a lot of like people of color and black people and native people. Like there are certain cultural things amongst those specific groups where it's like that was developed because of the hundreds and thousands of years of oppression and,
Yeah.
you know, being um suppressed and all that kind of stuff, which is also really sad. And it just really makes you think about how like rampant mental health, mental illness, all sorts of like trauma are in every single group.
Yeah.
And
And you know
how
what's
it's
kind of crazy?
what
How like mental health, like to get help for mental health, like it's not as accessible
it's hell. I
as like
have
something
so
on the
much to talk
body.
about this.
But if you think about it, the brain is one, if not the most important part of your body because it controls literally everything else. So you would
Yeah.
think that would be top priority.
Yeah, but it's not.
No. But that's
There's
what's
like such
crazy
a
to me. It's
stigma
like
with it. Because I feel like
mental
it's
health can
like,
affect your physical health too.
yeah, but I feel like in a lot of ways it's like you can't see the wound, so people
Yeah.
don't respect it, you know? Like if you get a cut on your arm, people are going to help you because they see the blood. But when you have like trauma, for example, the wound is internal. So it's like the
Mhm.
wound is emotional.
So everyone's like, boohoo, get over it,
Yeah,
baby.
so no one really can like no one can visually see
Your pain.
the pain that it's
Yeah.
causing you. You could
Mm-hmm.
be crying in front of them, but it's not like a gaping wound.
Exactly.
So it's like people can't really understand the level of pain you might be in.
Right.
And I was gonna say something and I completely forgot. Oh, yeah, okay. Mental Getting help for mental health problems. I have so much to say about this because I've been dealing with it. And it's like I have told my it's so exhausting. I have told my mom that I have never experienced a more frustrating experience, like a more frustrating process than trying to get like a psychiatrist slash nurse practitioner and a therapist.
Yeah.
Like literally, it's like it was the most difficult experience of my life. And
Mhm.
just the whole experience every week, you know, because I get calls to like confirm my sessions. I have weekly sessions and then monthly nurse practitioner sessions. Like I have been fighting for my life recently because I take medication for my anxiety and OCD and depression. Um and it's all one medication, which was purposeful. My nurse practitioner was like, "Okay, this medication kind of is prescribed for all of these issues that you have that you're having." So instead of prescribing like a bunch of different medications, she only did the one.
Mm.
And just it would be easier for me, especially since this is like the first medication I've ever really taken other than like antibiotics and like Tylenol. Um, but so I've been dealing with issues with my medication where it's like my mom was told after she was picking up my refill by like the pharmacy or something that like I should get on something called Optum RX, which is like a mail order prescription. Instead of having to send it to your pharmacy and pick it up every once in a while, they just mail it to you and then like refill it or like
Mhm.
send a refill once you run out.
Yeah.
And I thought like I had called, I set it up, I told my nurse practitioner, and she was like, "Oh, I'm not too familiar with that, but I'll look into it and I'll call and stuff like that." And so I thought I set it up. I made a whole account and everything. But then um my nurse practitioner has been like messing around. Like she has been really throwing a wrench in everything. Like
What?
we had set up, I had brought to my therapist's attention, and then my therapist was like, okay, mention it to the nurse practitioner about me possibly having bipolar because I had looked into like a lot of the symptoms and I found that I recognized them within myself. So I just brought it up because like, okay, you know, I noticed that I do have a lot of these symptoms and I'd like to look into it, see what's going on. And so I mentioned it to my nurse practitioner. She was like, all right, we can set up a follow-up appointment and like um do like a test or something. And I was like, okay. So then we set it up and it was like 2 weeks from the appointment that I was having that I told her about that I told her about it in it. So
Mm.
we meet for this test appointment. And she's like, I gotta be honest, I don't remember why we meet this. And I was like, hello?
You mean her whole job?
Right. And
What
then
the fuck?
she was like, "Well, anyway, how's the medication?" I was like, and she just went into the question she asks me every month about my medication. I was like, we made this because you were supposed to test me and like ask me these like questions, do this questionnaire for bipolar." And she's like, "Oh, your therapist has to do that." I was like, "What?" And so then when and then she was like,
What
"Oh, I'll talk
the
to your
fuck?
therapist." So then when I met my therapist that week, I was like, she told me that we set up this appointment for her to test me. Then when we got to the appointment, she was like, I don't remember. Your therapist has to do that. Did she call you? My therapist was like, no. And also, she's supposed to do that. I was like, what
Because
the fuck?
the therapist can't like tell you you
Yeah,
have certain things. That's
exactly. The
not
therapist
their
is just
job.
there for like giving me tools to manage stuff and to talk to.
Yeah.
So it's like I was like, what the fuck is going on? My therapist was
No,
like
that
pissed off for me. Like she was like, I'm so sorry. That's like insane.
no,
And
that is crazy.
so
You should get a different nurse practitioner then.
yeah, because the thing
This
is
lady
that like
seems
it's like
weird.
this is like the first time she's like ever done something like that.
Oh, maybe she's going through something.
Yeah, so it's like I have no idea. It was like weird. She's never really been flaky. So it's like it was very weird that that happened. I was like, what the fuck? And I know like at the office they have brought in like new secretaries and stuff like that. So I
Yeah.
don't know. Things are a little backwards, but like it was so bizarre and it just made it so much more stressful.
Seems like it.
Mess Messing with like my medication because we needed to get her to send the reason why okay so I had thought I set up the mail order prescription, but then they were like, "Oh, you've run out of prescriptions. Your we need your nurse practitioner hasn't sent us more refills." And I was like, "What?" And so, but my nurse practitioner kept sending in like manual refills into like my pharmacy instead of like connecting with the mail order so that they send it to me. And even though even though I mentioned it to her like 2 or 3 times. And so
So instead
my
of doing what you
mom
asked her to do, she just kept doing the same thing she
she
always
just
does.
like didn't do it. It was weird. Like she
Oh,
needed to
that
give
is
them like a
weird.
fax number or something and she just never did because then they would like contact her when they needed her like approval for something and send her like a form so that she could fill it out and send it back or something. But but yeah, so she just like never did it even though she said she would. And then um I got a prescription sent to my pharmacy and I was like and I got an email that was like, "Oh, your prescription's ready." I was like, "What?" And so then my mom was
Mm.
like, "All right, I'll pick it up." And then um like it was like either she couldn't or it was weird. Like there was something that happened with the prescription and she was like it was this whole situation with the mail order, and it was like a whole mess. And so my mom, like, I told my mom, I was like, I'm so done calling about this. Like, I'm literally exhausted. I'm frustrated with this. And so my mom was like, okay, don't worry. I'll call for you. Like, I'll figure out what's going on, especially since she's the person that has the insurance. So
Yeah.
she figured it out. And then we were like, oh, the nurse practitioner didn't do her fucking job. So then I have to like, um, my therapist told me, she was like, I would get in touch with like the office manager and see if she can send the fax number, because
Yeah.
one, that is actually her job, and two, like she might be more likely to send it to get it figured out and stuff like that. So I have to do that next week. Fucking kill myself.
I'm
Um,
sorry you've been going through all that though. Like
but like
it should be
bottom
simpler than that, you know?
exactly. And that's my point, is that like
Yeah.
I have never experienced so much like confusion and like any like
Yeah.
I have experienced so much like bizarre, confusing, frustrating situations. Like, don't even get me started on these copays. Like, oh my God. It was like $10 at first, and then it was 25, and then it wasn't anything, and then it was 25 again. And then like this past week, I was called twice yesterday to confirm my therapy session today. And then I was called this morning. And neither of the times that I was called yesterday did the girl ask me for the copay. Then today I get called and they were like, "Oh, by the way, you have an appointment. We're just calling to confirm you have a $25 copay." And I was like, "Yeah, this is the third time I'm being called to confirm this appointment. And second of all, the other two times, I was never told of a copay." And the lady was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And so I just paid my copay, but it was like it was ridiculous. It
Yeah.
was so bizarre. And like
Weird
the
that it's
people,
different price every time.
well, it's not like a different price every time. It was like weird. I think it had to do with like the coverage that I have
Oh, okay.
or something. I don't know why it was like $10 at first, and then it was bizarre. Um, but yeah, and it was weird because like some of the people that I talked to, like the secretaries, they like come across as like not really nice. Like
What?
I would talk on the phone with them and they sound like really like over it and like tired of me, and like it's bizarre. I'm
What
like,
the
you're working
fuck?
with like mentally ill people. Like, you
That's
know,
no, no, that's what's crazy though, because have you ever heard like the horror stories from like the suicide helplines when they're
oh my
literally
God,
like
yes.
mean to
I
them?
had no, I had a close friend. Oh my God, this story is literally so morbidly funny, but it's actually insane. So
I think
I
you've told me
have
this before, but
a
let's hear
close
it for the
friend. I'll
pod.
tell it on the pod because it's
Yeah.
such a it like really puts it into perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I have a close friend of mine. She's from the UK, and she has had a past I'm not spilling her tea here, but she's dealt with like suicidal thoughts and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And this one particular time she felt the need to call a helpline, and she calls the helpline, and basically she's like, "Hi, I'm having suicidal thoughts." And right after she tells them that, so mind you, like this person is on the phone with someone who is suicidal, is like, "Hey, thinking of killing myself." They put my friend on hold. So my friend tells me, she's like, "Yeah, so I call, I tell them I'm having suicidal thoughts. I tell them that I'm feeling suicidal, and they put me on hold." And I was like, "Holy shit." But where it gets funny is that she said that them putting her on hold made her laugh so hard at like the absurdity of the situation that it
Yeah.
actually did help her.
They knew what they were doing. They're the
That it
professionals.
actually made her break out of her like suicidal ideation because she
Yeah.
was too busy absolutely fucking losing it at the
Yeah.
ridiculousness of calling a suicide hotline and being put on hold. But like that's mental health.
Yeah.
Like that's like the mental health industry, you know?
Yeah. In a nutshell.
Exactly. Like one time I called to try to make an appointment um for a therapist, and like I
Mhm.
was literally like having a breakdown right before, which is what prompted me to call. And I was like, "Hi, I'd like to schedule a therapy session." And they will straight up be like, we're not accepting new patients. Sorry, bye." And then this other place I
Sure.
called and I was like, "Hi, I'd like to schedule a therapy session." And they're like, we don't do that. We're a psychiatrist's office. You have to get a therapist to talk to a psychiatrist." And I was like, "What do you think I'm doing?" It
It's just so complicated
Even
for
just
what?
getting a therapist is
Yeah.
like fucking
I mean,
hell.
I feel like most of them are booked and busy though. It's hard to even find one that's
Yeah, and then some of them like at some point they just stop taking new patients.
but
So
that's
then you have to find a
understandable
new
too
person.
because it's
Well,
like,
yeah,
yeah.
but it's like it's so hard to just get one, you
Yeah,
know?
I agree. The only time I ever had a therapist, I think I probably told you this.
You
I was
did.
in I was in middle school, and the lady, she would come into my school to do a therapy session with me because the state sent her or whatever.
Hmm.
Anyway, so when she would come, she would never talk to me about my issues. She would just bring up her divorce and then talk about how her dog saved her life because she's like, "Oh my God, my dog, like he keeps me company." And she brought the dog in once so I could see what she was talking about. And it's just like, and one time I did try to bring something up to her, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm having some issues at home." She's like, "Oh my God, my dog did the funniest thing." And I'm like, "Okay." And it's just like, what on earth? But those are the people the state was sending. And I think I was her
Oh,
first
yeah.
patient, or I guess, or whatever, client. I'm like, "Okay, girl."
My college used to have like counselors who were actually trained in
Right.
like as like therapy and stuff like that. Um, and you could like see them for free, but the catch was that you were limited to like a certain amount of sessions. And so at some point they were like, "Oh, we can't see you anymore because you don't have any more sessions."
That is actually so fucked up.
It is fucked up because like I was at my mental worst in
And they're like,
college,
sorry, out of sessions."
and it wasn't really that many, I'll tell you that right now.
Oh my
It was
God.
like
Was it
it
like
was
less than
ridiculous.
5?
I think it was around there, yeah.
That's crazy.
It was like maybe a month and a half of sessions or something. It was like ridiculous. But then the the amount of shit I was going through in college.
Oh my God. I just remember something funny about that therapist that I had in middle school. So one time she told me to make a vision board, but I was like 12. I didn't know what that meant. So I just made like, she's like, "Oh, you just gotta cut things out and put them on, a board or something." And I'm like, "Okay." And so I cut out a bunch of eyeballs from magazines and like it's a vision board.
Yeah.
So I put them all over the thing and I brought it in and she was like, "That's not what I meant." And I'm like, "Okay." Put eyes on it, like, okay, she got literal. Took a little too literal. But yeah, really helped. I'm so cured.
Yeah.
Uh,
I've never been
well,
told to make a vision board, but my therapist today told me that I need to continue to journal. I was
do you
like, I
get
know.
homework? Because that's what my therapist used to do. She used to give me packets of like things to do, and I would never
Not
do them 'cause
packets.
I have
My
homework
therapist
already.
my therapist has like given me things to do, but not like packets of homework. Like just like, writing down stuff that I want to tackle, or um, just like writing down goals, or you know, stuff like that. Like she doesn't really give me homework.
Yeah,
It's just more so like things to keep in mind, and things to try, and different methods to try. But she did this time around, because I had my session today. She was like, "You should try journaling." And I was like, "I love to journal, but recently I kind of dipped on it just cuz it became a chore for me,
yeah,
and I didn't like that because I did actually like enjoying journaling." But recently I've tried journaling again because, last time I journaled was like before I had like seen my therapist and like gotten medication.
Mm.
So it's been a lot easier for me to journal. Ooh, excuse me, sorry. Um, and I think I was also just putting way too much pressure on myself. But I have been writing poetry.
I know
So
you've been sending me some, and I love them.
yes, I have been. I like when I was in like a slump when it came to it. Like I couldn't really write anything. And
Mm.
then recently I've been writing a lot more. Like I wrote like 3 things the past week.
You know what?
So
I feel like when you get in slumps where when you feel like you can't like write anything, that's kind of a good thing because you got out whatever needed to get out of you. And the rest
yes.
of the time that you're not being able to write things, it's your body like taking in the experiences of what it needs to
Yeah,
feel
or just like
to
taking a
write.
break.
Yeah.
And I definitely like because I was like writing a lot. Like I was writing something like every day. And then, I had my slump where it was like I wasn't writing anything. And at first I was like, what the fuck? I was like, uh-oh, like, is this a bad sign? But then like I started writing again.
Yeah, I feel like it always comes back. Like some people think like you get burnt out, you're done. But I
Yeah.
feel like that's not true. I feel like it
Hmm.
just comes, you just need time or you need experience or you need something to happen to like trigger the motor. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You've written as much as you could about what you had already.
Exactly.
But yeah, I've been writing and it's been interesting.
Mm.
I've been trying to rhyme more.
Okay, Dr. Seuss.
What?
I said, okay, Dr. Seuss.
Yes.
No, I love stuff that rhymes.
Hmm. But like not in like not in the Dr. Seuss way, in
I
like
know, I was just playing. Like a,
no, I know, but I'm just like thinking, like I'm trying to do like a subtle kind of rhyme.
yeah, those are the best ones, to be
Yeah,
honest.
because I guess I'm trying to like play into like a lyric type of thing.
Yeah. You know what I love? Rhymes that aren't like real rhymes. Like it's just words that kind of like sound like a rhyme
Yes.
and are put in like a creative way. I love that kind of stuff.
I love those because it sounds like so clever.
Yeah.
Or like when people use like a word that sounds the same but is spelled different, so it's like a play on words. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Because even like, I don't know, time and rhyme, they're not actually true rhymes.
Yeah,
Well,
they are.
they are. Well, not really.
Yeah, they are.
Well, yeah.
They're not spelled the same, but they are.
Mm,
They
maybe.
would be no, it would be like sigh and time.
I don't know if those ones sound the same to me.
Well, they have the same I sound.
Maybe.
So they're like a fake rhyme.
Sorry, time. Hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like a fake rhyme. It's like an almost
Yeah.
rhyme. Or not sigh, rather like sign.
Sign and sigh.
Yeah. Or like sign and time.
Yeah.
Because it's like almost a rhyme, but like
Yeah, those
not
ones,
quite.
yeah.
But I'm just trying to think. Do you have any like healthy coping mechanisms or unhealthy coping mechanisms?
I have plenty of unhealthy coping mechanisms.
We all do.
What I like to do when I'm overwhelmed, I dissociate. I go into fictional fantasies in my mind, or I just stare at
Slay.
a blank wall with nothing inside, or I drink until I feel nothing, or I eat until I feel nothing.
Oh,
Yep, that's how I cope. Or
for
I punch
me,
the wall like a little white boy.
okay, and self.
Yo.
Me, my coping mechanism is a little harsh on my wallet.
Oh, yeah.
Um, I can be a little bit of a shopaholic, except recently I have been trying to curb that.
Yeah, I'm actually the same way. Can I show you what I got today? You're gonna love this. No, 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 you're gonna love this. So I have no money to spend, right? But I was at Hot Topic and I guess they had a manga section, right? And they literally had the first edition of Nana. I'm not kidding.
Oh, slay.
I have a couple of the other editions, but I didn't have the first one, and I was like, "Oh, I don't have any money." It was $10, right? And so I stole it. No, but so I go and check if I have any rewards, and I had a $5 reward, so I only got it for $5. So I'm like, "That's kind of a score," because normally I buy things secondhand, but, like, I've been kinda looking for the first one, and I
Hmm.
got it. But that was
And
kinda
that kind of stuff is hard to find
mhm,
secondhand.
and that did brighten my day though, 'cause it filled the void.
Yeah, and especially since you like found that surprise coupon.
No, that I was like it was kinda meant to happen.
Exactly.
Do you have any other, like, coping mechanisms besides, like, shopping?
Snacking, like what I'm doing right now.
Yeah,
I
I do.
got candy from Five Below because you get 10 pieces for $1.
Slay.
Um, I'm trying to think of what else. I don't do like the substance stuff. Like I don't drink when I'm sad.
Mm.
Um,
It's
but
not good
if
to do, 'cause then you're
yeah,
you drink, you wanna cry.
but if it's like if I happen to be sad while I'm out drinking, um, then it kind of makes it worse.
Oh, for sure, 'cause it brings forward the feelings you're feeling,
Hmm.
and it makes everything worse.
Honestly,
So
I used to have like I think honestly the biggest one is just the shopping.
mm,
But when I'm sad, I do just tend to like put on a movie that I like or um I don't really have any motivation to do anything. So I don't really have the energy to have like an unhealthy coping mechanism.
mm,
Um which I guess is a good thing. But trying to think of honestly like all I like my coping mechanism when I'm sad is just like writing.
and that's a healthy one.
Hmm.
I also write when I'm sad. I journal as well. I don't write physically just because it kills my hand, but I, like,
Yeah.
stuff on my laptop. I have a diary that's pretty long, but,
I write my poetry on my phone, but my journal like I try to just do like one page, so it doesn't kill my wrist.
yeah.
And I think it like takes the pressure off of me because it's like, you know, I started doing that because I was having a hard time like sitting down and writing more than one page. And so I was like, okay, you know, to keep it low pressure, all I have to do is one page, fill up one half, like one side of the page. And that just makes it easy. And it also like, you know, it just makes it easy.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
writing more than one page kills my wrist so bad.
No, me too. I write with too much pressure,
Me
especially when
too.
I'm, like, upset about something, so when I'm
Yeah.
writing, and my hand's like,
And I like grip my fucking pen. Like it's
"No."
ridiculous. Anyways, mental health. Take care of
Mhm.
your mental health.
Honestly, the best that you can.
Yeah. Try to
Day by
combat
day.
those unhealthy coping mechanisms by finding healthy coping mechanisms, whatever that be.
I hate to say it, but sometimes taking a deep breath and drinking some water really does do the
Or
difference.
taking a walk,
Or taking a walk, cause like, the simple stuff, like, it really does help a little bit, like, if you need
Yeah.
to calm down or something like that,
Even if
it
it's just
definitely
like
does.
sitting outside and like reading,
Yeah.
or coloring or something.
Something calming or something to distract
Exactly.
your mind.
Yeah, something that's completing something, but not so demanding.
A puzzle.
Yeah,
Ooh,
little
puzzles are
jigsaw
fun.
puzzle.
Mm.
I almost got a puzzle today, but
I need to get a puzzle. I used to love doing them.
they're great.
I love 3D puzzles because it's kinda like Legos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get Legos.
Oh, true.
Love Legos. Don't be
Oh,
like me and buy every single plushie you see.
no, actually do that. That's cool as
Yeah.
fuck.
I have
We
so
love
many plushies.
we love filling the void.
I love plushies.
I
I'm
do too,
running out
I'm
of
the
space
same.
though.
But yeah. Oh, that's the cutest one ever. I have a similar one that I got for Mila.
I
But
have a
like,
My Melody version of this one.
it's like fluffy.
Yeah.
That's cute. How many plushies
Anyway,
do you have? Like
too
50?
many.
50 or more?
Yeah, I would say. Well,
Yeah,
I don't think 50. I think it's under 50, but it is a lot. I am racking them up.
they're cute though. I think they're worth it.
They are. And they're really nice to
I feel like
hold.
it also heals like your inner child too.
It does. Anyways, stay
Anyway,
slay.
stay slay. Keep your mental health slay as well.
Exactly. Drink
Slay the
water,
mental
brush your
health.
hair, brush your teeth.
Take care of yourself. That's the
Yeah,
main takeaway. Even when you
exactly.
don't feel like it.
Exactly. Watch
Yeah.
a funny movie.
Honestly, dude, there's so many times when I'm like having a mental breakdown and I'll put like a comedy on or something and I literally just dissociate and watch it and it literally heals it. I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
know anymore.
Or just like a comfy movie, a movie that will
Hmm.
comfort you and make you feel relaxed and stuff like that. Like whenever I'm feeling sad, I put on Pride and Prejudice because
Hmm.
like the visuals, the colors, the music, it really just comforts me. And then I catch myself at the end all like smiling and like giggling and twirling my hair. And I'm like, "Oh my God, I forgot what I was even, upset about."
Exactly.
Nurture your brain. It's the
Nur-
only one you got. And, you know,
Stay safe.
exactly. Stay safe, love yourself. Kiss, kiss, hug, hug. Um,
See you next time.
yeah. Stream the Car by Arctic Monkeys. Okay, bye.
Bye.